New push to expand COVID testing at schools nationwide as Omicron cases soar. Overnight, the Biden administration announced it will now give schools an additional 10 million free COVID tests per month. And it says that should allow schools to more than double the number of tests currently being performed. It's a push coming at a critical time with many school districts stretched desperately thin. Students in Chicago, the nation's third largest school district, returned to in-person learning today after a week at home due to teachers' safety concerns. We are joined now by America's Education Secretary Miguel Cardona for an interview you will see only on CBS Mornings. Mr. Secretary, good morning to you. Critical time here for students, I would say parents as well, as they look to get back to their own new normal. How big of a difference do you think this increase in testing is going to make in schools' ability to stay open and educate our children?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. We're doing everything we can to make sure that our children have an opportunity to stay in school. That's where they need to be, and we know we can do it safely. So this announcement is further evidence that we're listening, and we're going to do everything we can to keep our schools open. The tests, but also the connections with labs to make sure that it's sustainable for our districts is critically important as we keep our kids in school.
So you say you're listening, but can you deliver is the question. There's a lot of people at home right now thinking, where are they going to get 10 million tests per month? We're struggling to find them in my own community. So what's the answer to that question? Where are these coming from?
You know, the president made it clear that through the Defense Act that there's going to be higher production of tests. We're prioritizing our schools. We recognize that schools are the hubs of the community, that we should not be closing our schools first, as Dr. Walensky said. It's vital for our students. So you're going to see distribution of tests as early as next week to make sure that our schools can stay open.
So, Mr. Secretary, as of right now, you don't have them stockpiled, but they're going to be made in the next 7 days?
The tests are being developed, and states are applying now to receive these to the CDC. So we do expect next week that they will be out.
All right, you expect. And how will they be administered? Are these for all staff, teachers, and students?
Well, you know, we're promoting the Test to Stay program for those who are unvaccinated. And we know, as the CDC new guidance said, we're not requiring tests for everyone to come back in every day. I don't think that's a sustainable model. What we need to do is follow the mitigation strategies that we know work, and where possible, increase the number of students and staff that are vaccinated. We know vaccinations are the best tool that we have to fight this Omicron virus and COVID-19 in general. So we must not only provide testing where needed, but also make sure that we're increasing our vaccinations across the country.
Mr. Secretary, where do you stand on vaccination mandates? The Los Angeles Unified School District, for example, had one for children 5 to 11 planned, and then they decided to push it back deeper into the fall. Right. I know it's a local decision, but what's your national opinion on whether schools should go that route?
Yeah, you know, there are some logistical issues with that as well. I know that they work. Listen, what we've seen across the country is that they work, and they're helping reduce disruptions in our schools. In terms of mandating it, you know, I don't know what else you need to help people understand. I'm starting to get concerned now of the effects of what I'm hearing about hospitalizations of the unvaccinated and the impact that that's having on our hospitals. I think we have to really take a look at that to make sure that we're providing public health safety for everyone.
Yeah. Mr. Secretary, with all these rules and COVID shutdowns and disruptions, school board meetings around the country have gotten very heated in recent months. And back in September, a letter was sent to the White House from the National School Board Association, it's called, asking for help from the DOJ and FBI to investigate threats against school board members, and in fact, comparing those threats to domestic terrorism. A few days later, Attorney General Merrick Garland issued a memo saying that the DOJ and FBI would, in fact, look into these threats. Now, some Republicans have seized on this to say the government is trying to intimidate frustrated parents against speaking out. So the question to you, I think, is, did you solicit anything from that school board association? And should the DOJ and FBI have gotten involved in this at all?
You know, we didn't ask for that letter. We didn't. I think the real focus should be how do we authentically engage parents. And I think moving forward, we have to have a better strategy across the country to listen to parents and to make sure that they're engaged in the process. But no, specifically with that letter, we had no, we didn't request that, or there was no involvement in that.
Do you agree with the DOJ and FBI involvement?
I believe, you know, any threats toward any elected officials is unacceptable. And whatever steps need to be taken to make sure that that doesn't happen should be, because I know, especially across the country, our board members oftentimes are volunteers that want to help their community, and they should be protected.
Yeah, it is a difficult situation for people on both sides of the issue. Secretary Cardona, we appreciate you walking us through it all. Thank you.
Thank you.